In the heart of Ottawa, a quiet bill was passed, one that would send shockwaves across the continent. This single act has upended North America's electric vehicle ambitions, threatening to unravel years of progress and investment. The United States has spent billions building a green future, massive investments in clean energy, new factories, and a vision of global leadership. But in its rush, America overlooked a crucial detail: its deep reliance on Canada for the critical minerals that power electric vehicles. Canada's new Strategic Resource Sovereignty Act, Bill 142, is a game-changer. It redirects Canada's mineral wealth away from the US and toward the European Union, reshaping global supply chains overnight. This bold move effectively cuts off American automakers from their main supply of battery minerals, leaving factories idle and production lines stalled. In Washington, the reaction was disbelief. There was no backup plan, just stunned silence and urgent questions about what comes next. This isn't just about cars or batteries, it's about who will control the future of green technology, and who will set the pace for the world's next industrial revolution. America believed it was ready to lead, but forgot a simple truth: you can't build a future on resources you don't control or secure. Canada's decision exposes this vulnerability, stalling US ambitions overnight and sending shockwaves through the auto industry. Stock prices for US automakers are tumbling, with investors reacting to the sudden uncertainty and risk. Industry leaders are scrambling to find alternatives, but the options are limited and time is running out. The global supply of high-grade nickel and cobalt is already limited, and now those shipments are being redirected across the Atlantic. Canada's pivot hands Europe a massive strategic advantage, giving the EU a head start in the race for clean energy dominance. The industrial power map is being redrawn in real time, with new alliances and trade routes forming almost overnight. America now faces a future it never imagined, left behind in the global race for green technology, with workers and communities at risk. The shock is immediate. Factories are shuttered, jobs are threatened, and billions in investments hang in the balance. The US must now confront a painful reality. Its green revolution was built on shaky ground, and the foundation is crumbling. Around the world, alliances are shifting. America is no longer at the center of the conversation as new leaders emerge. The rules of the next generation are being written elsewhere, and the US is struggling to keep up. The EV revolution's new world order has arrived, and for now, the US is on the outside looking in, searching for a way back. The consequences are just beginning, and the world is watching to see what America will do next. To grasp this crisis, look inside an EV battery. Nickel delivers range, cobalt ensures safety and longevity. Without high-grade nickel, EVs can't compete. Without cobalt, they're unsafe. The US lacks significant domestic sources for both. For decades, it relied on Canada's rich, ethically sourced reserves. The entire North American EV supply chain was built on this trust. Canadian nickel is the high-purity standard. Its cobalt meets strict ethical standards. Losing this supply isn't easily fixed. Alternatives are controlled by China or come with ethical baggage. America's green future depended on Canadian minerals. Now, that foundation is gone. The search for replacements will be costly, slow, and fraught with compromise. Bill 142 is more than just a trade policy. It marks a bold and unexpected strategic realignment for Canada on the world stage, sending shockwaves through Washington and beyond. Canada now prioritizes exports of critical minerals to nations in its Green Strategic Partnership, led by the EU, shifting its focus away from traditional North American partners and toward a greener, more sustainable future. The Canada-EU Green Alliance was announced within days, locking in vital mineral supplies for Europe and cementing a new era of transatlantic cooperation on climate and technology. For US companies, the tap is off. No new long-term contracts are being offered, leaving American firms suddenly cut off from a crucial supply chain. Ottawa cites US political instability on climate as a growing risk. In contrast, Europe offers a more reliable, forward-thinking partnership that aligns with Canada's environmental ambitions. Canada frames this dramatic shift as a principled stand for the planet, emphasizing environmental responsibility rather than hostility toward its southern neighbor. The move bypasses the spirit of North American economic unity, raising questions about the future of cross-border cooperation and the fate of long-standing trade agreements. Canada is no longer content to be seen as America's junior partner. It's charting its own independent course with confidence and purpose. The US is left scrambling to respond, while Europe surges ahead, capitalizing on its new access to Canadian resources and green technology. The balance of power in green technology and critical minerals has shifted decisively across the Atlantic, reshaping the global landscape for years to come. Bill 142's impact is immediate and personal. For thousands of American workers, the promise of a stable future is suddenly in jeopardy, and the sense of security they once felt is quickly fading. In the Midwest, new battery factories are stalling. Jobs and investments are at risk. Hopes for revitalized towns and new opportunities are now replaced by anxiety and frustration as projects grind to a halt. Workers who retrained for the green economy now face layoffs and uncertainty. Many invested time and money to adapt, only to find themselves back at square one, unsure of what comes next. Automakers are slowing EV production, some halting new projects. The momentum that once fueled innovation is now replaced by hesitation and doubt. The supply chain ripple is devastating communities that pinned hopes on the EV boom. Local businesses, schools, and families all feel the strain as economic prospects dim. America's strategy failed to secure raw materials, handing Europe a head start. While US factories sit idle, European plants ramp up production, widening the gap. By the time the US finds new sources, it may be too late to catch up. The race for resources is fierce, and delays could prove costly for generations. Meanwhile, China stands ready to fill the gap, at a price. Their dominance in the supply chain grows stronger as America hesitates. America risks trading one dependency for another, undermining its own self-sufficiency. The nation's ability to control its future is slipping away. The US-Canada rift could strengthen China's grip on the future of transportation. Allies are divided and adversaries are seizing the moment. The American dream of EV leadership is slipping away. Families who once looked forward to a cleaner, more prosperous future now face disappointment and doubt. The consequences are global, and the clock is ticking. Every day lost is a step further behind in the race for innovation and influence. The world is moving on, without the US in the driver's seat. If America doesn't act soon, it may find itself left behind in the new era of transportation. This isn't just an industrial hiccup, it's a lesson in modern power. Control over supply chains now defines global influence. Canada's move shows how resource-rich nations can reshape alliances with a single policy. The US is left with few good options: retaliation risks, backfiring. The new Canada-EU alliance sets the standard for green technology and ethical sourcing. The world is becoming more multipolar, with power spread among those who control key resources. America's era of economic dominance is fading. The future belongs to nations that secure their supply chains. The green energy race is about power, not just climate. The map of global influence is being redrawn, one supply chain at a time.